week 7. Here we go. Starting with Monday, we're going to continue our overhead work, so building upper body strength, but we're kind of hitting more of the hypertrophy stimulus, which means we're working on kind of getting to that area where we feel the burn in the muscles, and this is where we're starting to stimulate more muscle growth. So we're going to do that with just upper body pressing. We're going to do every 3 minutes for 3 rounds, 8 to 12 strict press to about 1 to 2 reps in reserve. So that means let's get a weight on the bar where we can be within that rep range and it feels challenging by those last few reps. Maybe you hit 8 and you just kind of stick to that weight for all 3 sets. Maybe you're hitting 12 and it feels easy, then I'd go heavier in weight so you can challenge that and stimulate that hypertrophy stimulus a little bit more than just kind of doing 12 without even really feeling it. When you're done that, we're going to keep the clock running again every 3 minutes. The next 3 rounds are going to be done with a seated dual dumbbell strict press. So same concept. This time you have 2 dumbbells. We're going to go for 8 to 12 reps. And again, choosing a weight that's going to challenge us and going to make us kind of stop within that 8 to 12 rep range. And if you guys have done this before, like last week, we can base it off those numbers. If not, kind of use your warm-up to kind of base, like in your warm-up, see how those dumbbells feel, how the barbell feels, and try to find that rep range. Even if you don't make it in the first couple rounds, let's say the first round you don't really feel it, then the next round, if you add some weight, you may find that there's more of a challenge. It just all depends on kind of where your 1 rep max is. I would say a lot of these weights will probably be somewhere between that 50-60%, depending on kind of how experienced you are. So if you want a little bit of a metric for your strict press, somewhere between that 50-60% is a good place to start. And then you can kind of take that number, roughly kind of divide it by 2 there, and you can kind of use that as a bench or a baseline for your dumbbells. Again, dumbbells will be heavier, so I'd even drop down below that 50%, maybe 30-40% per arm there. And it will be a little bit more challenging with that dual dumbbell. Plus, you're not standing, you're in a seated position. But overall, building upper body strength there. And then we're going to finish off with a good strength. And I'd say definitely endurance involved in this one. As always, you're going to get a good sweat on. However, these movements are meant to be tough. So when we're doing this AMRAP 10 today with the 3 power cleans, 6 hand release push-ups, and the 9 kettlebell squats, you're going to be breathing heavy, and it's more of a strength kind of fatigue that you're feeling. So kind of like if you do like a heavy 5 rep max, or if you do like a 3 rep max, it's going to be that kind of tiredness after you finish each set of movements, rather than kind of going into this workout and blasting through it and getting more of a cardio stimulus. So strength is going to be the main thing that you're going to get out of it, but with the repetitions and the rounds of it, you'll get a little bit of an endurance stimulus too. In the 10 minutes, I would say aim to be around 6 to 8 rounds and for those 10 minutes to get that good stimulus of this workout today. So that means like we're getting a total of about 18 power cleans, 36 hand release push-ups, and 48 kettlebell squats with the weight there. So that's Monday. And then we got that kind of reverse effect on Tuesday. So we're going to hit a different stimulus, but we always start off with our skill work. Those double unders that we're going to work on to begin with. Same structure as always, every 90 seconds for 6 rounds. We're going to either do A or B. We're going to practice double unders for 60 seconds. So this is kind of the category where you don't have a double under quite yet, you're just trying to get the timing down, or you're working on a skill, a certain kind of timing drill to help you with the double under, or you do have double unders, and we're going to do somewhere between 10 to 50 unbroken, and I would choose a target and try to make that your goal to hit every single time. If you're hitting the peak 50, or like you're very consistent with a certain number, try to work on your efficiency a little bit more too as well. Your hand positioning, how much tension you're holding in your body when you're jumping up and down. A lot of times when we're doing double unders, we have to stiffen the whole body, but can we relax the shoulders? Can we relax the legs a little bit so that we can be more efficient with the movement? Basically exerting less energy. And then our workout, this is where we build that endurance. So we got 5 rounds for reps, and consistency. So that means I want to see you try to maintain the reps per round across those 5 rounds. So 1 minute of burpees, 1 minute off, 1 minute of assault bike calories, 1 minute off, 1 minute alternating single arm kettlebell swings, and then 1 minute off. So this workout, we got a little bit of body weight movements, machine work, and some weightlifting in them, but these should be movements and pick progressions for sure for this one that you can just keep moving in. So double check that you're not like stuck with those kettlebell swings or with those burpees. So if you need to adjust some things to keep it more of a cardio based movement than a strength based movement, definitely do that so you get the right stimulus being endurance today or cardio. Tuesday, so going into the next day, Wednesday's workout, we're going to continue our power snatch work. So this complex is every time we do, so the first set is 3 power snatches, and then at the end of, or the last power snatch is when we're going to do just 1 overhead squat. So 3 power snatches plus 1 overhead squat. Then the next set is 2 power snatches, 1 overhead squat, and then 1 power snatch, 1 overhead squat. So basically the last rep of that power snatch, just keep it overhead and do 1 overhead squat. We're going to do 3 rounds of the 3-2-1 set cycle. So 3-2-1, and then repeat that for 2 more rounds. And we're going to do a set. So a set would be the set of 3, a set of 2, or a set of 1. You do 1 set every 90 seconds until we get through 3 rounds of the 3-2-1. You're going to reset in between each rep, so you can drop the bar. If you're doing hang, obviously don't drop the bar. And then no touch and go reps. So we don't want to touch and go if you're going to the ground for this one. I want you to make every rep really, really well performed. So getting into good position, good technique. We're not rushing it. We're trying to get the most out of it because skill is going to be one of the main things we're trying to get as a stimulus, and power development. When we do a power snatch, we're not going into a squat. We got to really rely on a really aggressive hip extension, driving through our legs as hard as we can. So it's going to get more of that stimulus as well, the power side of things. Going into our workout, this one's a chipper, 10 minutes to whip through this one. And this is meant to be done at a higher intensity, but we also want to be smart about how we do this because they're big chunks of reps. And that's why I put the stimulus as stamina today. So lower body stamina is going to be the main thing out of this one. We got 60/45 cal row, 45 box jump overs to a higher target. So 30 inches for the guys, 24. So just pick a height that you know you can confidently jump up to, but it's a little bit challenging in terms of like you have to put a little bit more effort than usual to jump up there. And then we're going to finish off with 200 foot single arm overhead dumbbell lunges. And I would do these into kind of 25 feet sections. So 25 feet, put it down, or if you want to just try and do it unbroken, you can. But that last 200 feet is going to be a grind. Your legs are already smoked from the box jump overs being very explosive, and then just the cardio from the rowing too as well. Plus you'll get cardio from the box jump overs too. And then trying to finish off that last 200 feet is going to be a good challenge to end off with. So I'd recommend pick some progressions that you can get at least into, I would say 75 to 125 feet done of the single arm overhead dumbbell walking lunges. And if you kind of get stuck in those middle movements, definitely that's not what we're looking for. So in your warm up, just double check that you can just confidently keep moving with the box jump overs. If you think the calorie row is going to take you longer, knock it down by 15 calories. So for the guys, you can do 45 and the ladies do 30 calories instead. Box jump overs, knock it down to 30, keep it simple. And then you can keep the overhead walking lunges the same, adjust the weights. Maybe if a weight is going to just kind of not allow you to even get that far, like you're only able to get 25, 50 feet, then just do it unweighted. Keep the arm overhead, like do it unweighted all the way throughout. So lower body stamina is the focus for Wednesday. And then we're going into our Thursday, kind of like flushing it out on Thursday. So this has been the theme where we're focusing on endurance. We want to get a good sweat on, work on our cardiovascular endurance with the breathing, the pacing, and all that. So this is an AMRAP 30, 10 shuttle runs, 10 alternating step-ups, 10 ring rows, 10 shuttle runs, 50 skips, 10 hollow rocks, and then rest a minute. So once you finish a round, just kind of take note of your time in that round and then try to repeat that the following round. These rep ranges should be low enough that it's not going to stimulate just one muscle group. It's going to be more cardiovascular fatiguing, kind of like Tuesday's theme. So make sure you keep it at that. If this is your fourth day on, I'd say go at a recovery pace. So get a good sweat on, but don't kind of kill yourself in this one. I would go at a 7 out of 10 kind of pace in this one. And then maybe the last 10 minutes is where you can kind of push a little bit more. And that 1 minute is kind of built in there for you to kind of take a quick little pause, catch your breath, catch your breathing, reset so that you can attack the next round with good intent. Going into Friday, we got our upper body and our lower body work. So we're going to do our deadlifts just as usual, 5-3-1. Let's slowly build a little bit. Can we add another 10% of our overall poundage from last week? Or look at one of the rounds that you did last week. So it's meant to be done 3 rounds of 5-3-1. The first round of 5-3-1, go at a 7 out of 10. Round 2 at an 8 out of 10. Round 3, 8.5 to 9.5. So heavy, close to 1 rep max, but not quite at that territory. I want you guys to be working on that strength, and it's more of that neural drive today. So we're working on how we can really tighten up the body, get into really good positions, and execute the movement. There's a lot of coordination involved in it. And this should be a lot more kind of like full body taxing, where you're kind of just fatigued after each set, especially on the last round of those 5-3-1s. When we're done that, our workout, we got another good upper body challenge for this one. I've been playing around with this one. I was like, I wanted to put some wall walks in there, but I know you guys have done a little bit. I'm going to do a little bit of a different kind of twist to Friday. So we're bringing those farmer carries back. This one is 4 times, 10 minutes, 400 meter farmer's carry, 30 dual dumbbell push press with the same weights, and then finish with a 400 meter farmer's carry. So this is going to blast that upper body, the grip, your shoulders, your traps are going to be fatigued, and then trying to go into those presses are going to be tough. So those 30 are not meant to be done unbroken. Probably sets of 8, 10 at most. But you are going to be putting down that dumbbell at least 3 times, I would say, up to 5 times to get those 30 dual dumbbell push presses done. And then with that shoulder fatigue, trying to get back on that 400 meters farmer carry and seeing how far you can chip away at that. If you get into that farmer's carry, even 100 meters in, you got that stimulus of the workout. If you finish it, you're a rock star. I mean, 10 minutes, get through that one. That one's going to be a tough one. I don't expect a lot of people finishing unless you got some upper body strength of Hulk or something to get this one done. So it'll be a good little challenge. Let's see how it goes. Going into Saturday, this one is back to that endurance and more of like, can we repeat the same amount of work from round to round? So we're working a lot on endurance. 5 rounds for reps. You guys have seen this kind of format in the last couple of weeks. 3 minutes on of 250 meter row for the guys, 200 for the ladies, 50-foot sled push at body weight, and then max strict pull-ups of whatever time is left over. Rest 3 minutes, and then you're going to try to hit that same number of strict pull-ups every round there so that you can be consistent across the board with 5 rounds. So don't completely empty the tank and blow it out of the water in the beginning. Try to pace it. I would say like 7, 8 out of 10 kind of pace. And then that last round is like more of a 9, 9.5, or 10, where you really just empty the tank on that last one. And then finishing off with their Sunday workout, partner workout here, 40 rounds, 4 med ball overhead slams. So taking that med ball overhead and then slamming it straight down in front. 4 dumbbell Russian twists with the 50 and the 35, 4 burpees, and then 4 dumbbell snatches. Do this however you like with your partner. Break it up. I just advise maybe one partner as they're doing the movement, the other partner is getting ready to do the next movement so that you guys can have really fast transitions, because there's a lot of transitions from movement to movement, and at least 40 rounds of transitions there. So it's quite a bit. And you got 30 minutes to get through it. So I would say like get at least 30 rounds done in this one. If you get 40 rounds on, awesome. But if you're getting good sweat on, you're feeling like you're cardiovascularly getting a challenge in this one, you're breathing a little bit heavy, then you're getting the right stimulus out of this one. So then if you get 30 rounds, you still got the right kind of intent out of it. So that's the week, guys. Hope you guys enjoy. We're getting close to test week and to cycle 5. We're getting really, really close. So I'm excited for it. See you guys then.